With me is Nate Bradley, the CEO of Datavault AI, with an announcement about real world assets, RWAs, a big buzzword in the blockchain world lately. And I was telling you, Nate, one of my favorite applications of blockchain. So why don't you explain to me what Datavault's doing with the real world assets?
Thanks for having me. Good to be here. The real world asset properties that we bring to the table are really the tokenomic capability of turning any real world asset into a token, and then using that token over our exchanges. So we built out some very specific exchanges that are dedicated to, in this case, elements. We have an elements exchange. We have an NIL exchange. We also are building out an exchange for biotech that we announced. So those exchanges are just genre-based token exchanges all around real world asset tokenomics.
Yeah. Well, and I always ask you this, explain what this means for like the average person. Say they want to buy a piece of a name, image, likeness of their favorite college basketball star or something. So what do they
Yeah.
do? How
So
does it work?
Yeah, so really the breakthrough is a single object, a smart contract can be minted, and that smart contract can pay out multiple parties at once. So from a single transaction, we can pay multiple parties. So in that case, the school can be paid, the merchandise provider can be paid. The school is paid for the use of their colors and their logo, their mascot, and ultimately the player is also paid. The student athlete is also remunerated for their likeness. And the beauty of these coins is that this extends beyond just athletics. Individuals that are sponsored by corporations or that are writers or poets have an opportunity with respect to this technology to also be remunerated for their works. And so that's largely what that NIL exchange will be about.
Okay, very interesting. So, and where does somebody go to get a piece of that? You mentioned an exchange. What exchanges will they be able to go to?
We actually are traded over the NYIAX infrastructure. So it's the Nasdaq financial framework, which is kind of special about our companies. We have access to trusted infrastructure. You will be going to our individual exchanges. So the Elements Exchange and the individual exchanges will have their own destination, but ultimately they're on the Nasdaq financial framework. And so that's special about us. And here in our fourth quarter, we're launching the Elements Exchange. We're launching the NIL Exchange. The Information Data Exchange is being relaunched. All this happens here in December, so we're looking forward to having a strong close to our year with the launch of those, and we're working very hard on all three.
Oh, I know that's going to be huge. So, explain the Elements Exchange. What is that?
Elements Exchange is the ability to trade elements of the earth, gold, diamonds, silver. We have the ability to tokenize even gases, natural gas, the ability to tokenize boron. We're working on projects throughout the industry that are going to change how miners are able to take a small portion of their under earth assets and leverage them towards the traditional mining process, but using modern financial means to obtain the capital they need.
Okay. And then the other one was what? Data and Information Exchange?
Yeah, the information data exchange.
Okay.
This is the ability to trade data for cash. This is for any company that wants to harvest data assets. This will be the mechanism by which they can turn data to cash.
Okay. So, I've heard like people in the financial industry talk about tokenization and how the world will be tokenized someday. And it sounds like you're making a step to that.
Well, yeah, we have patented technologies that actually enable that in an automated means, a way for companies to do that very rapidly, to actually have an automated means by which to harvest and understand value. One of the hardest things in tokenomics was the valuation. We solved for that using an IBM Watson X powered system that we invented called Data Value and Data Score. Both of those assets turn data to cash. And when you look at the ability to understand the value of data. This is the missing element. Many people understand data is valuable. They just don't understand how much or to what finite level data is worth. And so we were able to illuminate a value. And then we have a scoring system because value could sometimes be based on a trade. So we also want to show you a score. Sometimes data is undervalued or sold at a rate that it shouldn't be. So the data score can show you the value of your data beyond just what people exchange it for.
Well, and this democratizes, I feel like, finance. So people have access to assets they have not had before. They may get paid for data where they haven't before, like Facebook and things like that. Is that how you see it? I mean, how does this change our economy?
Oh, you just hit it the nail on the head. That's actually we're working on that project where you will go to your data vault and be able to push an Amazon button, push a Netflix button, and get your entire history. We're even doing this throughout medical health. We're working through partners to establish EHR connections where you can query and once and for all bring your medical record into one place. And so, similarly, probably more topically, if you have Netflix or, as you said, the Netflix account, the Amazon account, the things you've had for now going on a decade or even greater, for those of us that use it for a long time, and our young people, this is one of the resources we have is technology to understand them better and understand their world better. And so as we're getting this information, we just need to understand its value. We need to understand what is precious to us and how much it's worth to other people. And then we can then decide if we want to monetize it on behalf of our organization or ourselves.
Okay. Oh, absolutely fascinating how all this is changing. So, Nate, thank you. And please come back when you launch these exchanges so we can kind of go into depth about what
Oh, we
what
will
does.
be coming back. Yeah, no, thank you very much. We're looking forward to being back and keeping you up to date.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.